Welcome to That's Controversial, your weekly wrap-up show from RumorFix.com's editor-in-chief, Richard J. Ayub. Richard, hello.
Hi, Swami. How are you?
Doing well. Another great week. My name is Swami Verdin from That'sControversial.com. That's controversial. Richard, why don't you tell us exactly what RumorFix.com is to our listeners?
RumorFix is the anti-tabloid entertainment website. Our mission is for anyone who goes to a supermarket and sees those tabloids as they're checking out and wondering what's true and what isn't. We put everything through our filter and we label it as it's true, still a rumor, or this story needs a rumor fix. So it's our own independent verification system, and we also tell you, what is true and what isn't.
So let's start off with the week. Breaking news last night. The Obama administration urges the Supreme Court to strike down the Defense of Marriage Act, otherwise known as DOMA, that calls the law unconstitutional because it violates the fundamental guarantee of equal protection. The DOMA pretty much says that what men and men or women and women can be married. Is that what DOMA exactly is?
DOMA says only recognizes marriage between one man and one woman. The big conflict with this is that there are several states, in fact 9 of them, that have legalized same-sex marriages. And so in those states, New York, Vermont, Maine, and several other states, you get all of the state rights of any couple that's married. But you can't get the federal rights because of DOMA. So the President Obama administration is appealing to the Supreme Court, because they're going to be taking oral arguments in March, to strike down DOMA as being unconstitutional.
What exactly is a federal rights? Is federal rights like if you and another man are dating or you're married and you go to the hospital, there's some rights that married couples have, don't they? Or some rights that married couples have as far as taxes goes. DOMA.
Yes, it would definitely apply to federal taxes. So the IRS, if you file as a joint couple, as a married couple, you can't, because the IRS in our country doesn't recognize same-sex couples as being an official married couple. Also, Social Security, things like that, would be the federal government would be in control of.
As forward as America is, there are times when America is completely, utterly backwards.
Absolutely.
And this is one big reason of America just not getting it together and being backwards.
Well, if you look at what countries have recognized same-sex marriages: Argentina, Belgium, Canada, Denmark, Iceland, Netherlands, Norway, Portugal, South Africa, Spain, Sweden. So, there are, right there to our north, Canada says, yes, we are recognizing gay, lesbian couples as being equal to any other couple.
Right. That's the way it should be.
Absolutely. I agree with you.
Rumor Fix has something about Kanye West and keeping up with the Kardashians. Kanye West, is it going to be keeping up with the West anytime soon?
Well, there are rumors out there that Kanye West doesn't want to be on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and that, he's refusing to be on it, everything else. Well, I can tell you right now that the guy's already been on Keeping Up with the Kardashians, even before they were officially dating and before she even got pregnant. He was on the show because they always had this attraction to each other and always had fashion in common and very like-minded. I doubt that he is refusing to be on the show. I think he will be on it. But I do believe, and I've seen, a lot of interviews that Kim has done and have been watching her very carefully. I think she felt very burned by her marriage to Chris Humphries, which she's still married to Chris Humphries. And I think she felt that she may have made some mistakes, and the mistakes were being too public and allowing cameras into every aspect of that relationship. So I think that Kim is going to keep some of her life private.
And I gotta tell you though about Kanye, I wish Kanye wouldn't be part of that show. I think that as an artist, as a musician, I think it's best to sort of stay away for a little bit, go into hiding, make your album, and then come back out. That's why I really respect Jay-Z, because Jay-Z doesn't really talk that much. He gives very little interviews, him and Beyonce, and that's why they're still powerful, is because they let their art and their artwork talk. And I think being an artist, being a musician or an actor, Denzel Washington said something interesting. He said the more people see you every day, the less likely they're going to want to pay to see you. Speaking of relationships that aren't going too well, everyone's watching South Africa right now.
Yeah.
As the national icon, Oscar Pistorius, he has set bail at, I think it's like $119,000 for shooting and murdering his girlfriend. Now, was it accident? Did he think it was an intruder? What's your take on this whole scandal? It seems like it's OJ Part 2, which it is.
Yeah, I think it was interesting. I think we talked about that last week, the comparison to kind of O.J. Simpson, and now I've heard all this week people are making that same comparison. So, Swami, we're on the cutting edge of that. But there's definitely that comparison because he is a world-class athlete. She is a beautiful model. It was an alleged murder, and he's saying he's not guilty, and he's out on bail. People are saying that they think he's going to get off the hook, and people don't believe him. As we talked about last week, he's saying that he thought she was an intruder who was coming into the house. And as I told you, there was a tweet from November where he said that he thought his washing machine was an intruder. And so he got all prepared to start shooting at the washing machine. So this guy is obviously on edge, obviously a little unsettled. You would think they would say, "Is that you?" You would think she would scream. You would think there would be something that would help trigger him to realize that this was not an intruder, but his girlfriend.
Right. I mean, here's the deal. I'll give you a couple stats. There's been 16,766 burglaries in 2012 in South Africa. 7% of those have been prosecuted. And 50% of South Africans say they're terrified because people always burglarize and, steal guns. And guns, you have to be 21 to buy a gun in South Africa and take a test, like a driver's license test. And you can only own one gun at a time. But getting illegal guns is very easy, and the burglaries are on the rise. However, I have to tell you, Richard, this case smells exactly like OJ. I don't think this has anything to do with him. I think it has to do with the disrespect that females get around the world. And I'll tell you why. I think that this case is it's not going to be about her anymore, which is a shame. I think she's going to get forgotten, and I think he's going to be off scot-free. It's about being a male, a powerful male, and making a tremendous amount of money and getting away with it, just like other athletes and celebrities have gotten away with stuff in this country and around the world.
Well, I don't think it's a male-female thing as much as a athlete superstar thing.
So let's go on to other couples that aren't doing too well, but not that bad. Diane Lane wants a divorce on Valentine's. Rumor Fix has that news.
Well, what it is on Valentine's Day, she signed divorce papers. So essentially, that was her Valentine to Josh Brolin. This couple's been together for 8 years, and she filed for irreconcilable differences. They have no children, no prenup, I think it's going to be a pretty clean divorce. I saw that some sources have said that this couple just grew apart. There is, the one thing where Josh was arrested on New Year's Eve for, I believe it was public intoxication, but those charges were eventually dropped. But, there's a little bit of unraveling possibly going on there. What I found interesting as I was researching this story is that Diane and Josh met. You know how they met or who introduced them?
Who was his stepmom, Barbara? Barbara
Yeah,
Streisand?
Barbara Streisand introduced them.
We have a lot of friends that would love to be introduced by Barbara Streisand to anyone.
Exactly. When Barbara introduces you to someone, she's a yenta. You've got to, go for it. And so they had 8.5 good years, and so we wish them well in their separation and also their divorce. Good point.
Speaking of females, Brandi Glanville. What's
Yeah.
up with her dress? Rumor Fix has it for the Oscars.
Well, here's something really interesting. Brandi Glanville, as you know, is with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And she has been tapped to do red carpet fashion critiques for On the Red Carpet, which is ABC's syndicated entertainment show. So she is going to do that, and she has told us that she has been definitely warned not to drop any F-bombs. She's very worried because I guess sometimes she might have a little potty mouth. And she is a designer herself, so she's going to be wearing a dress that she designed herself.
What exactly did Brandi Glanville do before this whole scandal of her husband? Was she an actress on soap operas?
She was a model.
She was a model.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't it strange how that works
She's
out?
40. I'm sorry. She just hit 40.
It's amazing how life turns out, right? You are a model. You're married to a Hollywood star. I consider him like C-list or D-list now. But he was B-list when she was married
Eddie
to him.
Cibrian.
Yeah, she was married to him. He was B-list. But when he cheated on her with Leanne Rimes and all that went down, she ended up somehow becoming a household name.
Yeah, she's a very smart and honest woman. She says that in some weird way, she can't complain about being asked about Eddie Cibrian or Leanne Rimes because that's what got her where she is.
Google Glass is coming out in 2013 ahead of 2014. It's going to be under $1,500. And remember, they're supposed to come out 2014, but remember last week we talked about the Google retail stores premiering in the fall or early summer.
Right. Swami, you might want to describe the Google Glasses a little bit and how that works.
You put on these puppies, their glasses. They kind of look like Ray-Bans, but they're not. And they have a little, on the right side, they have a little computer chip. I don't know how to describe it, but imagine wearing glasses, and you could instruct the glasses to do anything. So you could say videotape, and it'll start videotaping, and there's this little small box that comes on the right glass side, right glass frame. And you'll show what you're videotaping. Or you could say, take a picture, and it'll take a picture. And on the right side, it'll take a picture. It'll show your picture you just took. Or you could say, GoogleRumorFix.com. And the website for RumorFix.com will appear in your top right vision of your glasses, top right spec of your glasses.
So the picture I see looks like it's just one lens on the right eye, kind of like what you would if you're going to the dentist and they have like a lens or a more high-tech version of what the dentist would have on their right eye when they're looking in your teeth or whatever. Or is it completely covering both eyes?
No, it's one. It seems like, it's interesting. That's a great question. I don't think I know the answer completely because in all these videos, it shows one eye, the right eye, and it shows like a picture-in-picture.
Yeah.
Per se. So like you have the main picture, which is you just looking forward into whatever you're looking at, in the little picture of whatever comes about. So you could say cooking recipes for enchiladas, and it'll show recipes for enchiladas on the top right.
Right.
But it's just a wave of the future, and they're coming in different colors. You can get red, blue, green, and they're $1,500. It's going to be huge. And remember, Google also came out with a laptop that's coming. A laptop is coming out next week from Google. That's I think $1,299. That's going to compete with the MacBook Pro.
It's fascinating because it seems, and obviously these things don't happen overnight. There's a lot of time and months and possibly years and strategy figured out. But since Steve Jobs has died, it seems like Google is getting much more aggressive with their product development.
That is 100% fact, but I got to tell you, Apple are like the Beatles of technology. Don't ever count them out. They might be underground right now, but remember, every technology company are like artists. And artists, there's times to shine and there's times to work on their product. And at this moment, I think Apple is taking a step back. I guarantee you, as you said last week or 2 weeks ago, Steve Jobs was 5 years ahead of his time.
Right.
So they're probably still working on something just beautiful, fantastic, and life-changing. But we don't know about it yet, which is why Apple's so great. And we will hear about it probably in the next couple of years. But just wait and see for what Apple is going to do. As far as the present moment, absolutely. You got the Google car, which drives by itself. That's been seen around town in Silicon Valley. You have the Google Glasses. You have YouTube, which is doing enormously well. And you have the Google MacBook or the Google Chromebook, which is coming out next week for $1,299. Google seems like it's on fire.
Google stores.
Google stores, yeah. We're always talking about Google now, which is interesting because in the last 10 years, there was no story except Apple doing great stuff.
Right, absolutely.
And so that's, you know what? That's going to end our Rumor Fix, That's Controversial weekly wrap-up show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys next week. See you, Richard.
Okay, take care, Swami.